Honestly, I'm just going to start you guys off by talking about local foods and ingredients and why it honestly is super, super important for the local community and the environment. So why is it important? One of the main growing concerns nowadays, and especially in today's society, is the environment and the effects we have on the environment as humans. And carbon emissions lately have been on the rise, and as we can see, compared to most other countries besides China, the United States almost doubles or triples everyone else. So not exactly best run-in for the environment, but basically how that correlates with food is buying local food and ingredients essentially reduces carbon emissions due to the fact that you are going through a local source and a plug, and also for the fact that if you're buying a banana or you're buying fruit and vegetables off season and it needs to be exported in from a different country, that alone has a profound effect. And so basically, local food not only helps the environment by reducing carbon emissions in local farms and communities, it improves soil health, and it also improves local ecosystems by reducing the amount of industrialization and widespread farm, because the industrialization and large industrial farms have they usually are a lot of pollution to the environment, and also usually need a lot more equipment. So one of the biggest advantages of eating locally is the fact that most of the vital nutrients and minerals and vitamins in your vegetables will stay intact as if they're being refrigerated or bruised or shipped around the country or halfway across the world. They're actually known to lose a lot of their nutrients and become less healthy for you, and honestly just worse quality food. And the money you're putting into the community, it's going to benefit your local community and increase your local economy, rather if you were investing or buying fruit or produce from a industrialized source. So basically what this has to do with it is a while ago I incorporated my love and passion for the environment and local food with cooking, and this basically started out as me getting a job as a dishwasher at Revival Kitchen and Bar. It's a restaurant in Concord around last year, and this was one of the biggest points in my life where I realized I wanted to be in a kitchen. I really enjoyed working there, and I loved the fast-paced action and the constant pressure in the kitchen, how you always have something to do. It was a lot better than sitting in a classroom all day. So so when that happened, as I noticed, I started to work at Revival. I really was fascinated with how they prepared the food, how they plated it, and just where the ingredients came from. And the funny thing is where I work actually specializes in farm-to-table dining, and this basically means that the majority of the ingredients in the food that we're preparing are from local farms and stuff in the area, and we try to it really benefits the local community and has a good connection with the farming community in New Hampshire. And so basically I took this passion, and for my senior project I wanted to incorporate food and local food and also do something charitable that benefited the community. So I actually, as I got into more cooking and stuff like that, I had gotten permission from my boss and mentor at the restaurant, Corey, to use the restaurant space on a day when the restaurant was not open for a charity dinner. And when I decided that's when the real fun began. I decided it was going to be a 3-course meal with an appetizer, a main course, and a dessert. And all of the money being raised from the meal is going to cover the cost of food, and then the remainder of that is all going to charity. And so one of the big things for me is I love dogs. I've always had dogs in my life, and I couldn't really think of a better charity than the Pope Memorial SPCA. They aren't connected with like the national SPCA, so they are like a non-profit organization. And I was lucky to have a good friend whose mom is a vet tech there. So I had gotten in contact with her and had gotten permission to use their name and basically set up to have a dinner. And at that point, I decided that the dinner would have to have a maximum space of 25 people because all of the planning, the ingredients, and the cooking, all of that was going to fall on me. Even though my boss and mentor was there to help me and guide me, all the planning and the recipes and the majority of the cooking came from me when it came down to it. So there's me at the SPCA, and basically anything more than that just freaking killed the dinner. We had 3 courses. They were all very good, and this was a lot of pressure for me to step up because I'm a pretty big procrastinator, and planning a 3-course dinner, even though it's only for 25 people, which is more than people think, it's you can't procrastinate on that. You can't do that the night before. So it really helps my planning and organizational skills to be able to set this up because I needed to make sure I had all my food, ingredients, and everything there that day. Because if I was missing 1 or 2 things, then I'm not going to have time to go out and get it or make it that day. And yeah, so basically with that, the dinner was a huge success, and I had donated the money and went down to the SPCA and got like a tour to see like the intensive care unit where the dogs are and stuff like that, and all the cats. And it was a really eye-opening and enlightening experience for me because it felt really rewarding, and it was definitely one of the biggest moments in my life. So, yeah.
Connor, I have a question.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay, so I have a question.
What's up?
Can you talk a little bit more about the dinner and let people know like what you created and
Oh
why you
yeah.
made those
So
choices?
basically, for my dinner, it was really hard to come up with things from scratch. Like I could come up and visualize the ideas and the artistic aspect of what I wanted to cook, but actually cooking something and creating something from scratch, for the most part, without no recipes, was really challenging. And basically, my first course was a salad. Actually, do you want me to just rattle off my whole menu? I haven't memorized. I'm just gonna rattle off my whole menu. My first course was tandoori chicken skewer, which is like an Indian-style chicken, over couscous salad, which had a homemade ginger and sesame vinaigrette dressing. And my second course was a salt and parsley cured hanger steak, brown sugar glazed carrots, and bacon cheddar mashed potatoes. And my third course was a dessert arancini, which is essentially like a ball of rice pudding fried with a Buddha's hand mascarpone and like a raspberry coulis. Wow. So that was my menu for the dinner, and I had a lot of pressure with that because I wanted to make something that was like actually good because the ticket price was $50 per person. For one person, you get 3 courses. So I didn't want to like have, even though it is going to charity, I wanted to make something that people could enjoy.